Hey friends, it's Missy again. Thanks for joining me today. I'm back with a new layout. This one is for Cocoa Vanilla Studio. And for this layout, I'm going to be combining 3 different collections, and I'm going to make this bright and colorful. But I wanted to do something different. I'm going to use this wood grain as my background, and that is from U Rock. And now I went ahead and did some die cutting. I've got some papers from U Rock, Life is Beautiful, and Make a Wish. And these are the pictures I'm going to use today. I'm going to scrap all 4 of these. I did a quick little photo shoot of my little Paige on her 4th birthday. She's 8 now, and so these pictures are pretty old, but I hadn't scrapped those yet, and I thought they were cute. Now, this is one of the cut files that's been available for a while. It's part of the Color Me Happy collection, and you can find these on the website in the store in the section for Color Me Happy, and you can buy them. And I just love these X's and O's, and I created several different sizes in a bunch of different colors, and I just want to have all these X's and O's in the background, and I'm not quite sure. I kind of have an idea. I knew that I wanted my photos to go in a crooked horizontal line and then have all of the X's and O's kind of be vertical or diagonal. And I like the different background of going with the wood grain instead of white. I love a white background, don't get me wrong, but I just wanted to change things up and do something a little different. And I'm about to get messy here. And when I first started doing this, I thought, oh, I think I've just screwed this paper up. But it winds up looking okay, I think. So just don't cringe when I start to smudge all this paint down, because I know some people cringe when you start to add paint or you start to get all messy, but I think it looks good once I start to add everything back on. So I'm not using any gesso or anything at this point. I'm just taking some white and some yellow acrylic paint and smudging it right on with a palette knife. Now, I didn't want it to be super bright yellow at this point. I wanted it to be kind of soft, so that's why I added the white. Now, here's where I'm thinking, I don't really know what I was doing here. This is gesso. I was trying to soften up the edges, and I did. I wasn't sure at this point if I wanted the paint strokes to look like paint strokes or if I wanted it to look kind of faded around the edges, because when you use the packaging technique, you can get a different look versus when you scrape it on in strokes like this with a palette knife. So I wasn't sure if I liked it, or I just keep going with it here. I'm adding in some shimmers. That's a darker yellow paint. I believe that's a new one. It's called Little Yellow School Bus. It's a really pretty sunny yellow. And I'm just trying to get some different shades, some splatters, some smudges, kind of just a messy random background. And I'm going to dry this yellow before I go into another color. Well, no, I'm going to add some more yellow. I guess that wasn't enough yellow, because I am going to have some yellow in the papers, so I wanted some yellow in the background. Yeah, I was making this and I was thinking, don't throw this away. You can make this work. You can make this work. And I think I do in the end. I do wind up adding quite a bit of mixed media here. Sprays and paint, different color blues. I've got 2 different blues from Shimmers here mixed in here. That is Jenny B Blue Vibes and Heidi Ho Blue colorings. And then I just decided to smudge it with some plastic and dab it up with my napkin. And like I always say, when you create a background like this, it looks like a big old hot mess in the beginning. It looks like you just smudged some paint down and, with your eyes closed and just made a mess. But it actually does have a little bit of rhyme or reason. And when you start to add things back on top of it, you cover a lot of it up. And so you can only see bits and pieces of it peeking out from behind everything, and it totally changes the look of it. So I decided it was really yellow and I wanted to kind of change it a little bit, so I went with some Blue Shimmers acrylic paint mixed in with a little bit of white, and now I'm smudging that. And this kind of turned into an experiment of color, and I wanted the yellow to show, but then I decided it was just too much, and so then I wanted to play off of the blue that I have in the X's and the O's, but I didn't want the blue to completely blend in. So then I come back over it with the yellow, and it's just kind of turning into a big old acrylic mess. I let it dry, and then I had the bright idea to add some pink. And actually, I think this kind of looks good. I like it. Two different shades of pink. I've got Sweetheart and Pink Stilettos. And then I tried to smudge it and realized that the paint wasn't completely dry. So I'm just kind of going for it here. I'm doing all kinds of stuff. Spraying directly on, using the knife, using the packaging, and just kind of seeing what I can come up with. And I actually like the blend of the colors. I think they look pretty together because teal or blue, yellow, and pink are my three favorites. And I love using that color combination. And it dried and I added my die cuts to it. And I think it looks better now that it's dry. It's a little more subtle. And now that I have all the X's and O's on there, I think it looks a lot better. So I'm going to arrange those like this. I'm going to start to glue them down because I know if I remove them, I'll never get them back like I have here. So I'm going to go ahead and stick those down with just a little bit of glue and then start to work on the photo placement and the embellishments. Now I've pre-cut a couple pieces of tissue paper and stuck it behind each one just to give it a little bit of a messy, subtle border. These are some flower die cuts from Life is Beautiful. And then this sticker is from Make-A-Wish. I kind of just pulled out everything that I owned from Cocoa Vanilla and just tried to mix and match. And I love the mix of colors here. I think this turns out really colorful and I like the blend of everything together. And I didn't really have an idea, of the embellishments I wanted to use. The flowers matched, and so I just went for those. I wasn't kind of going for a specific theme. I just wanted it to be cute. So I fussy cut out a blue flower, and it's a lighter blue. And then I'm going to tuck that orange one in as well. I'm getting low on my Cocoa Vanilla flowers. I'd have a couple papers with some flowers on it, but all the die cuts that I have that are flowers are getting low, and I'm sad about that because I want to use them on every layout. So I'm having to use them sparingly. All right, so I decided to try one of the Wild at Heart stickers in the middle there, but I like the round one better, so I'm going to stick with that. And it says, "Love That Smile," and that's actually going to wind up serving as my title. Because my daughter was laughing and giggling, and I was trying to take her picture, and I would kind of like reach up and tickle her with my hand, and then when she would laugh, I would take the picture, but she kept looking down at my hand, like, where's the hand? Is the hand going to get me? And so she's, I think, looking at the camera in actually one of the pictures, but they're just so cute because she's kind of got her eyes looking down and is waiting for my hand to tickle her. And she was just adorable. So I'm adding in some thread here. I've got some pink. That's the pink color of that center circle. I want to bring out that pink a little bit. And I've got that color on the background as well. And I think the thread just adds to the messy factor. Since I've got all that mess going on in the background, the thread just kind of echoes, hey, I just made a mess and I like it. And I did not add any foam or any dimensional adhesive behind the pictures because I just wanted them to be flat and I wanted to raise up the embellishments on this one. And so I added foam to the circle, and then I'm going to cut out a couple of yellow. I've only got two little yellow, this style of flower in that paper left. So I cut those up and I'm going to tuck those in, one at the bottom and one at the top, just to add a couple more sprinkles of that yellow. And I was toying around with using another title, but since the design is kind of centered, I didn't know what to use for the title, and I didn't want to add another die cut, and I didn't have the right color of alpha stickers to create a big title, and I wasn't even sure what to name this because they were just cute pictures, and so I'm just going to use the center pink circle as my title. And I like when I use 4 photos to kind of either create a grid with it or do something, vertical or horizontal like this, and then you can divide it up with something in the middle, kind of like I've done here. And I think it's a good go-to design. So I'm just playing around with embellishments here. I'm going to use a couple of flare buttons. That one at the bottom, the camera, is from Make-A-Wish, and this one up at the top is from Life is Beautiful, and it says Remember This, and I'm just going to tuck those in. And that little Just Perfect yellow banner, I'm going to use that, and that's also from Life is Beautiful. And I just like the pop of yellow that it gives down at the bottom, and I'm going to pop that up with some foam. And the flare buttons, of course, they don't need to be popped up because they're pretty dimensional as is. And that little piece at the top that says So Very Special, that is from Life is Beautiful. And then this is the Life is Beautiful wood veneer set, and I'm going to play around with a couple of things. And I wind up using one piece that says Happy, but I wasn't sure where to put it at first. Now I decided that I needed some more of that bright, bold blue color from the You Rock collection, so I went back and used the same paper and cut 2 more X's and O's to kind of run off the page at the top and the bottom, so that color is in 3 different spots. And I like running things off the page. I think that's a fun design technique or element. My last layout for Cocoa Vanilla, I used one of the newer cut files, the word summer, and I stretched it really big, and the S and the R ran off the page. And I just think it's it just looks neat. So before I glue any of those little embellishments down, I'm going to add in some thread, and that's yellow up at the top. There's a lot of little yellow pops going on. And you know, it's fun to mix and match collections because you can get totally different looks than, you know, just sticking to one collection every single time. And there's nothing wrong with that, believe me. Working with one collection is actually a lot easier than to mix and match because you've practically got everything strung out on your desk, and if you're like me, half of it's on the floor, half of it gets thrown around, half of it gets covered up, and then you lose stuff. But the end result is always cool because, you know, something from this collection matches something from that collection, and you never even thought about it until you pulled it all out and looked at it. That little amazing wood veneer piece at the bottom is from You Rock. I'm going to stick that down there at the bottom, so I've got 2 wood veneer pieces going here. And then these are just some little empty labels. Actually, that one that I put on the right is from the Love Always collection, right there. I've had that for a while. And I'm going to use these 2 little pieces of phrase stickers that say XOXOXO. Going to tuck it in right there. And I actually didn't see that there was a second one, so I pulled this one out. This says So Sweet, and then I noticed there was another XO. So since I've got all the XOs in the background, I'm going to go with that. And of course, when you stick a sticker on a photo, it's pretty much there, so I ripped the other sticker, but that's okay. I can glue it down. So I think the bulk of the layout is done. I'm going to add in a little bit more splatters with the pink and the blue. And since the background is darker, you know, when these splatters dry, they're a little bit lighter than they would be if they were on white. I'm going to add a little bit of journaling down at the bottom, just talk about how adorable she is and how she was laughing and cracking up this day. And the last thing I'm going to do is add in some, oh, I do add the date stamp. I think I actually have that on camera this time. I usually do that after the fact. It's my little Dollar Tree container of date stamps. And the one I'm going to use is from Michael's. I bought it a long time ago. It's got all kinds of cute little, like, I love you, cutie pie, sweet thing. They're perfect for layouts about my girls. The last thing I'm going to do is add in a little bit of black, since my photos are black and white and my journaling is in black, and that's going to wrap it up. There's the final layout. I love how this turned out. I love the mix of colors and the look of the X's and O's. It's just fun to do. I think when you make a layout with a bunch of die cuts like this, it kind of takes, you know, it doesn't take that long to put your background together, and then once your background is done, it's just a matter of embellishing, and sometimes that can make your layout come together a lot quicker. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know if you have any questions. Keep uploading all of your projects to the Cocoa Vanilla Studio member forum on Facebook so we can see all of your projects. And I hope you guys have a great week. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.